Good afternoon, my dear Toastmasters and honorable guests. I, Guram Nitin, Sergeant at Arms, welcomes you all to the meeting number 689 of Toastmasters Club Bangalore. Toastmasters Club mission is to provide a supportive and positive learning experience. Members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. Toastmasters have helped people from diverse backgrounds to become more confident communicators, and not only communicators but also great leaders. Before entering into the meeting, I request you all to uphold the cardinal principles of every Toastmasters meeting, which are: keep your microphone muted at all times except when you are invited to speak. Keep your video on at all the times except when you are roaming out of the room or coming into the room. As an encouragement to every Toastmaster and role taker and speaker, please make sure you upload them virtually. Role takers and speakers will consciously refrain from expressing their views on sex, politics, and religion to ensure the sentiments of audience are not hurt. Today, let me invite our dazzling presiding officer for the day, Toastmaster Bidudas. He's a part of Speech Weavers Toastmasters Club for over 2 years and a Toastmaster over a year. He is the current VP Education of the Speech Weavers Club. In his professional life, he works in a sports-based startup company. He's a sports enthusiast and an avid movie lover. And being a part of Toastmasters helps him improve his public speaking skills in going into the next level. So let us all generously invite our presiding officer of the day, Bidudas, Toastmaster Bidudas. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Sergeant of Arms Nitin. Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. Thank you for joining Speechweavers Toastmasters Club, meeting number 689. Without further ado, I declare the meeting open. Showing up is a very understated effort, and at Toastmasters, we show up for a variety of reasons. Some want to improve their public speaking, some want to develop the leadership skills, and some want to just socialize. But all those diverse reasons culminate into a single overarching goal, which is to make ourselves a little better every single week. So I appreciate every one of you who took time off the busy schedule to join us on a Friday, and I'm sure you will have a great time in the next 1.5 hours. As with every meeting, the members and guests who have joined us from outside the club have always excited us, and today we also have not many people from outside of club. I can see people have joined in like Arjun, Jhapa Naveen. We have people from other clubs like Toastmaster Meena, Toastmaster DTM Akshanda Mirza has joined us after a very, very long time. And while going on, I think we would be joined by other people as well. Before I start, I would like to have interaction with the people who have joined the meeting for the very first time. I would like to know Arjun, if he's a Toastmaster or a guest, and how did he come to know about Speechweavers? Arjun, if you can hear me, we would like to hear from you. Okay, and Naveen, if you are there, we would like to hear from you if you are a Toastmaster or a guest.
Is this?
Sorry, I couldn't hear you. Can you please repeat?
I'm sorry.
I couldn't hear you. I just.
Sorry, excuse me. So you're calling for Nadi or?
No, I was checking with Arjun and I'm checking with Naveen. But anyways,
sure.
Yeah, hi.
Hi, Naveen. So welcome to Speechweavers Toastmaster Club.
Thank you so much.
All right, so very quickly, we will move on to the first segment. And before that, I would like to share a brief anecdote about me. In the last 5 years, I have stayed in 3 cities. And in the last 6 years, I have stayed in 4 cities. And when you move around so fast to different places, one of the crucial things is to make connection. Today, we have an interesting theme. The theme says everyone needs a friend. And I'm very much looking forward to this theme because it is a very important skill that I have to learn if I have to sustain by moving cities in the upcoming years as well. So with this, I invite one of a very, very consistent members of our club, Toastmaster Adarsh, to take on as Toastmaster of the day. Over to you, Toastmaster Adarsh.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Bidu. But before I go ahead, I think it's important that you introduce the joke master for today. Is that right? Okay, sure. Then in that case, I think it is okay. There's a bit of a structural change in that case. I'll probably go ahead and introduce you to the joke master for this meeting. It is our very own distinguished Toastmaster Milind. Usually we have this at our meeting to entertain the audience, and that's exactly what this is about. Over to you, DTM Milind, to entertain us with your jokes.
Thank you, my dazzling Toastmaster of the day, Adarsh, my scintillating President, Toastmaster Bidu, and my sparkling guest, and my fellow Toastmasters. As King Henry VIII said to all his 6 wives, I will not hold you for so long. I will ensure that I will also not hold you for so long. The other day, I was driving to Mysore on the highway. I looked through the window. I saw a cock following us with our speed. I told my driver to gear up the speed. We started going at 80 kilometers. I again saw to the cock. He was still following us and looking at us. Quack, 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 quack. I again told my driver. Now we were crossing the speed limit. We were in a fear of police catching us. But my driver was saying, we'll make sure. And lo and behold, the cock came in front of us and still was running ahead of us. My driver could not hold on. He increased the speed, 105, 110, but still we could not catch. Then suddenly he took a right turn. So my driver did the right turn. And then I saw the cock went into a farmland. The driver put the brake. The cock was not to be seen. So we came out excited. We saw a gentleman standing in the veranda. Sir, did you see a cock rushing? Yes, he's my cock. But he was running at more than 120 kilometers per hour. So what? He's my cock. But how is that? Because I'm a scientist. I had put him one more leg. He's a 3-legged cock. But why did you do that? He said, friend, I have 3 naughty kids and all of them fight that they want to have chicken leg. I said, enough is enough. Let me do some research. And I had a cock with 3 legs. So my driver asked, so now you must be happy. Your kids must be happy. He said, why? No, now you have 3-legged chicken. You must be all enjoying it. Your kids must be enjoying it. I'm yet to catch that cock. Said the owner. 1985, the summit. Ronald Reagan walks in. Leonardo Brezhnev, both very coolly shakes hand. It was the Cold War season. It was in Kremlin. Brezhnev took Ronald Reagan to his hall. Ronald Reagan was standing in front of him. Said, Mr. Brezhnev, you know, in White House, every American citizen can come straight into my room, bang, and say, Ronald Reagan, you are an old hag. You are a fool. You don't know nothing. That's what democracy is. Brezhnev looked at Ronald Reagan. The Russian does the same thing with me. Every day a Russian comes to Kremlin and looks into my eyes and says, Ronald Reagan is a mad, he's an old hag, he knows nothing. For the Toastmasters and guests, if you liked all these 3 jokes of mine, pat me. If you not like it, blame Ronald Reagan, because he sent the 3 jokes himself to the public audience. Over to the Toastmaster of the day.
A round of applause to our DTM Millen for such an exquisite bunch of jokes. I think there was a lot of charisma there, and I think it was really, really funny. Thank you very much for those set of jokes. Now coming to myself, I'm Adarsh and I'll be your Toastmaster of the day. And I think you must have probably seen the theme for today's meeting. It says, everyone needs a friend. That's right, everybody does need a friend. And I think you must have probably seen the poster which also says, you're going home with a friend today, without a doubt. And I won't be charging you any money for that friend. And I think the friend won't be charging you any money as well. You are going home with a friend today, a free friend at Speechweavers. And it's going to happen between 5 p.m. and 6:30 today. So I would like to thank all of you for joining today's meeting. Now tell me, how many times have you gone back home from work or probably school or your university and you've said, I'm tired. I'm just tired of this. I really cannot do this anymore. I'm just so tired. I just want to break from work. I want to break from my school. I want to break from my university. I want to break from everything imaginable. I just cannot do this. It's just way too much for me. Well, if you went ahead and told this to one of your, if you told this to one of your family members, they'd probably be like, oh, you want a break? Well, then let's take a day off. Or if you went and told one of your co-workers about it, then he'd probably be like, just take a day off. Or maybe if you went and told your boss about it at work, he'd probably be like, you're not getting a day off, without a doubt. Or maybe if you went and told your children about it, well, that's not a good thing, is it? Imagine going to your children and telling them, you know what, I'm just tired of life. I'm just tired of all of this. Well, your children are not going to have a good impression of you at the end of the day. So you cannot tell your co-worker about it. You cannot tell your boss about it. You cannot tell your parents about it. You cannot tell your children about it. So whom can you possibly tell this to? Well, a friend. That's right. Everybody needs a friend. As a matter of fact, it's no different for me because even the other day, I needed someone to talk to because I was going through something in my life and I felt the need to talk about it. And given the sort of position that I'm in my organization, I knew that I could interact with any of my coworkers. I knew that I could interact with my parents for that matter. I knew that I needed a friend and I reached out to someone. I reached out to someone that I like quite a lot. And I happened to have a very interesting conversation with her. I told her about my personal vulnerabilities. It's very rare that I ever open up, but I opened up that day and I sort of told her about the sort of things that I've been going through. And during this time, I realized one thing. You know, none of us actually want advice. We know what the answer to the problem is. We know what the solution to the problem is. We just need someone to listen to. We just need someone that we can talk to. We don't need someone to tell us, you know what, go take a day off. Obviously, I cannot take a day off from my work. I just cannot do it. But at least I want someone to know that I cannot take a day off. I just want someone to know that I'm not doing so well. So that is exactly what I tried doing as part of this. And today, we're going to perform a very interesting exercise before I even go to the prepared speech session. Oh, you know what? Before I go ahead with all of this, I'd like to tell our guest, we have a guest in the audience. It is our guest Manu. Thank you very much for joining us. Toastmasters is a very exquisite platform for all of us to improve our public speaking and communication skills. It is the place where we come together, have a good time, and learn the art of public speaking without having to sweat over. And we have 3 different segments as part of the Toastmasters meeting. We have a prepared speech session, we have a table topic session, and then we have an evaluation session. As part of the prepared speech session, we have the opportunity to engage the audience by delivering a 5 to 7 minute speech based on our respective pathways projects. And then as part of table topics, we get to put our impromptu speaking skills to test. And we have a table topics master today who will be assisting you on that. And then last but not the least, we have an evaluation session where you receive constructive feedback for the speeches you've delivered. And that is how a Toastmasters meeting works. I'd like to welcome you to today's meeting. And now I'd like to go ahead and engage the audience with something very, very interesting. I would like two of you raise your hand. Two of you, any two of you, oh, you know what? I want to volunteer right now. I see Meena, I see Bidu. Bidu, would you like to be a volunteer? Yes, I see Meena raising a hand. Okay, I see Gunjan raising a hand. That's amazing. All right, you know what? We have two people in the audience, Meena and Gunjan. Yes. Meena and Gunjan, I think you have around 2 minutes of time, 1 minute each. You have 1 minute and you have 1 minute. And Meena, I would like you to tell Gunjan about what frustrates you the most about life. You know what? You need someone to confide with every day, right? You need someone to tell someone what you're going through. So this is your opportunity to vent. It's your opportunity to go out and tell her how you feel about life in general. So Gunjan, yes, Meena, you go first. You have a minute of time, and then Gunjan can go and share her frustrations in life. And trust me, there's no boss is not here, your parents are not here, your children are not here. This is your room. This is your day. Nobody's going to know. Go ahead.
Hi, Gunjan.
Hi, Meena.
Hi, I remember hearing your icebreaker speech, the way you had told your voice. I felt your voice is the best. And it feels really good to share a part of me, a personal part of me with you today. Most of the people think I'm very calm and very obedient. Yes, of course, it's not that they just think. But the other hand, I do get irritated when people do not meet their target deadlines and they don't express things well in advance. If today, it happened to me last week, we were organizing a couple of events, there were 120 plus people, and I had given a work, I had divided for 10 for each person. 3 people didn't even notify to me that they're not able to do it. I tried reaching out to them, and in the end, 30 people, I had to get in touch with them and get the information. It was very annoying. I could not go and screw all 3 people that you did not tell me in advance, but politely I had to say when they told me yesterday that, yeah, I understand, but last week I was really very, very irritated. And that's one thing about me. And what do you feel, Gunjan, that it's your triggering point, your annoying point?
My triggering point is my kids. They are not there to listen me. I keep shouting. And I really want, for me, if I want myself to get some time or some timetable for myself, some schedule, routine, then I want them to listen at least in one shout only. But they are not there for me at any point of time. If that work can be done in 10 minutes, they are there to do it in 1 hour. So those my 50 minutes will go just running behind them. And that really frustrates me a lot. I keep telling them, it is not like I don't tell to anyone. I am the person who if there is something in my mind or inside me, I tell. Either it's my husband, my kids, my mom, whoever it is. If I am frustrated, I just go off and tell this, I want it to be done.
Truly amazing, no doubt. I think you both have had the opportunity of venting out, and I think the both of you can probably continue venting after the meeting over WhatsApp or a phone call. I think you are friends at this point in time. So as promised, we have 2 best friends right now.
Thank you, Adarsh, for giving me a friend.
Yes, thank you, Adarsh, and thank you, Gunjan, for sharing a part of you.
Thank you very much to both of you. Now we are running out of time. So I'm going to quickly go ahead and introduce you to our general evaluator for today's meeting, and to give you a brief intro of the sort of person that he is. He's a part of Garden 3 Toastmasters Club, which happens to be the oldest club in the whole of Bangalore. And he is someone that I think is very, very enthusiastic. I think when I was looking for a contest chair last year to spearhead our speech contest, nobody popped up in my mind except for this one person. He's someone that I've seen quite a few times before, and I keep seeing him over and over again. And the same can be said for everybody else. I'd like all of you to give a round of applause to our general evaluator for today's meeting, DTM Askander Mesa. Sir, you can go ahead and introduce your team and your role as digital evaluator.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, TMOD, for that wonderful introduction. I'm a general evaluator, and my job today is to evaluate the entire meeting right from the word go till the end. And to help me in this task, I have enlisted the services of a few meeting leaders. I know what they're going to do, but I would like to hear it directly from the horse's mouth what these meeting leaders would be doing in today's meeting. The first one I would like to call is Timer Meena. Can you please explain your role today?
Thank you, Toastmaster Mirza. Being the timer for today, I would be timing every role taker. It could be the evaluation session, it could be the impromptu speeches or the prepared speeches. I would be timing. How would I be timing? For prepared speeches, we have 5 to 7 minutes. At 5, I would be showing the green card. At 6, I'd be showing the yellow. And at 7th minute, I'd be showing the red card. And to wind up, you have 30 seconds buffer time. For evaluation session, I would be showing green at 2 minutes, yellow at 2.5 minutes, and red at 3 minutes. And we'll be having 30 seconds to wind up your evaluation. And for impromptu, special note to the guests, I'll be showing green at 1 minute, yellow at 1.5 minutes, and red at 2 minutes, and we'll be having 30 seconds to wind up. Let me display the cards for you. This would be the green. I hope it's visible to all of you. Is it visible, the background?
It's visible.
Okay, and this is yellow and this is red. And I'd be giving my report of the timing to Toastmaster Mirza when called upon. Thank you, and over to you, DTM Mirza.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Meena, for that wonderful introduction. Now, next on the list is our account Toastmaster Gunjan.
Thank you, DTM Toastmaster. So I will be your counter to Toastmaster account. The purpose of the counter is to note any overused words or filler sounds used as a crutch by anyone who speaks during the meeting. Words may be inappropriate interjections such as and, well, but, so, and you know. Sounds may be or her. At the end of the meeting, I will report the number of times each speaker used these expressions. That's all. Thank you. Over to you.
Thank you so much for that wonderful introduction. I would have appreciated if you had used some acronym like CRPF, which means crutch words, repeated words, pauses, and fillers. And that is the job of the accounter. Okay, thank you so much. And we have the next meeting leader who is going to keep a tab on the quality of English that we speak. Can we call grammarian Toastmaster Biddu on the stage?
Thank you so much. As a grammarian, it is my responsibility to pay close attention to all the speakers and take note of outstanding usages of words, sentences, and phrases. I would also highlight the improvement areas in places where a speaker uses not so very good phrases. As a grammarian, it is also my duty to introduce the word of the day. The word of the day is frenetic, which means fast and energetic. I repeat, frenetic, which means fast and energetic. One of the examples of the word frenetic is life has been quite frenetic during the festive season. I also have one more example which I made up during the interaction with Toastmaster Gunjan and Toastmaster Meena. So here it goes. The frenetic behavior of the kids always keeps Toastmaster Gunjan on her toes. The frenetic behavior of the kids always keeps Toastmaster Gunjan on her toes. I request the Toastmasters and guests to use the word whenever appropriate. And if you do, I will appreciate by showing a thumbs up and also calling out their names at the end of the meeting. Thank you. I'll give you my report at the end of the meeting when called upon by the General Evaluator. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Biddu. And thank you, the entire team, for that frenetic introductions of your roles. With that, I have taken all the introductions. I hand over control of the lectern back to the Toastmaster of the day. Over to you.
Round of applause to the tag team and our general evaluator. I think that was a phonetic set of introductions. Thank you very much. I think that warranted a thumbs up, I think. Thank you. Now we are moving to the most important part of today's meeting, which is the prepared speech session. And this is the part where members have the opportunity of presenting their 5 to 7 minute speeches. And we have our first speaker. But before I invite the first speaker, I'd like to invite the evaluator of the first speaker, TPM Millen, to state the project objectives. Millen, sir, I hope you're there. Yes.
The speaker number 1 has opted for effective coaching as his path, and he is giving his level 4 project 1, improvement through positive coaching. The purpose of this project is for the speaker to develop and apply skills for coaching a fellow member or a person outside of Toastmasters who can benefit from his expertise. And the purpose of this speech is for the speaker to share some aspect of his experience in coaching. Over to the Toastmaster of the day. And timer, please note 5 to 7 minutes is the time.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, DTM Millen, and to invite the first speaker for today's meeting. He is the Division B Director of District 92, and I think he is one of those highly charismatic individuals that I don't think needs any form of introduction at Speechweavers whatsoever. I have known him for quite some time. I have seen him from the day I even came to Toastmasters in the first place. He is quite a special individual without a doubt, and today he is presenting his project, level 4, project 1, under improvement through positive coaching under the pathway effective coaching. And the title of his speech goes, I met this girl once. I met this girl once. DTM Saurabh, over to you.
I met this girl once. I'm pretty sure most of you, when you heard this title, you would be expecting some kind of a romantic love story. A girl meets a boy, and then they fall in love, and then they live happily ever after. I'm sorry if I am disappointing you, because a person at my age would definitely not be able to fall in love just like that, right? It needs a lot of grit and determination on the part of the woman to fall in love with me. So what is this story about, and who is this girl that I'm going to talk about? If this is not about love, then what is this about? It is about life. It is about life goals. The girl that I'm going to talk about is not a stranger to many of us in this meeting, and to many of us outside of this meeting in Toastmasters International District 92. This girl became the president of the club where I first became a Toastmaster, the Gabby's Toastmasters Club. She was a second president. Due to a sudden turn of events, suddenly, within 1 week of becoming a Toastmaster, she got promoted from a VP Education to the president of the club. And while she took up that role with a lot of enthusiasm, almost within a week or a couple of weeks, I noticed a sense of restlessness in her. 4 weeks down the line, she went into hibernation. 3 months down the line, she was nowhere in the scene. And then suddenly, I get a call from her saying, Saurav, I feel I'm being an imposter. I really don't think I deserve to be the president. I really don't have it in me. The club is doing so well. Everyone is such a good speaker. We have Aparna, we have Lakshmi, we have Netra, we have you. What is my role here? I have not even completed my level 1. I gave my icebreaker speech, and after that I disappeared. I got so scared, I got so boxed up. I don't blame her. A lot of things was happening in her personal life. A lot of things was happening in her professional life that unnerved her, unsettled her. At that point of time, she asked me one important question. And I think that question is something that all of us ask ourselves 6 months or 1 year or 2 years after spending in Toastmaster. Why Toastmaster? What is in there in Toastmaster because of which I should continue here? Why should I prioritize Toastmaster? My work is my priority. My life is my priority. Then why Toastmaster? It was a question to which I think many veterans here, including some of my own Dronacharyas like DTM Milind Kalapkar, would probably not have a straight answer. And think of me, I was myself a 4-month-old Toastmaster. And I was facing this googly right on the pitch. What I told her is what I told myself and to several others whenever they asked me this question. The moment you look at Toastmasters as something which is separate from your life, something which is separate from your work, something which is separate from your priorities, it will look as a baggage. You will never ever be able to carry it with love, with respect, and with trust for a long time. Then what is it that keeps Toastmasters motivated for years after years after years? We have 2 live examples in this meeting itself. Distinguished Toastmaster Askandar Mirza and Distinguished Toastmaster Milind Kalapkar. One of the things that I have realized veteran Toastmasters, seasoned Toastmasters do is they make this a part of their life priorities. And that's what I told this girl. Don't look at Toastmasters as an additional baggage. Look at it as an opportunity for you to learn, earn, and grow. She gave me a very doubtful look. Learn, okay. Grow, maybe. But earn from Toastmasters? We pay to Toastmasters, we don't earn from them. And that's when I started discussing with her the possibilities that she can come up with through networking, through knowing people, through connections, and the world that opens up because of that. Earning doesn't mean it has to be a systematic investment plan. It does not have to be a fixed deposit. It does not have to be a 9-to-5 job. The horizons that come in front of you, that expand in front of you because of the networking, because of the investment that you do. All of these discussions kept on happening for several months, weeks, and years. And today, this Toastmaster is not only one of the most successful Toastmasters that we have in District 92, a soon to be distinguished Toastmaster within 2.5 years of becoming a Toastmaster, but she's also leading the entire education and training initiatives for District 92. Someone who one day was doubtful about whether she can carry the load of a club on her shoulders is today carrying the load of educating all of us in District 92. 4,000 Toastmasters are looking up to her to get the right direction, the right education. If you're dying to know the name, if you have not figured it out yet, you'll have to hold on to it for a few more minutes, because what I want to talk about next is what are the steps to positive coaching. What I did with this lady is what I would call is positive coaching. The first and the foremost step is for us to understand where is the reservation coming from? Where is the doubt coming from? One of the biggest pitfalls of coaching is we straight away jump into the solution. You have a problem, I have a solution. But that is your solution. That worked for you, that may not work for me. The second is to explain your perspective. The third is to discuss, debate, and disagree. The fourth is to come up with decisions and implement them. And the fifth is to measure and keep on continuously improving on them. And finally, the last one, appreciate. If you want to make the most out of positive coaching, celebrate every single milestone, the smallest of the wins. And that's how you inspire someone to become a doubtful club president to the EduCom lead of District 92. Presenting to you, my positive coachee, Toastmaster Nancy Goel, is also present in this meeting today. Someone who have had the opportunity to help rise and thereby help myself rise as well. Thank you. Back to you, Toastmaster.
Round of applause to DTM Sir for such an amazing, heartfelt speech regarding someone that was very, very engaging. Unintentionally, I think I've united another two people in today's meeting. So I think we have four people that are good friends in today's meeting. So thank you very much, DTM Sir. A round of applause to you once again. And that was an incredible speech. Of course, you'll have your evaluation later in the meeting, so stick around. Now we are moving to the next speech of today's meeting. And the next speech is going to be delivered by someone that I know very well. But before I come to that, I'm not sure that person is Dan. Oh yeah, he is Dan. Yes, I'd like to invite the evaluator of Toastmaster Joseph's speech. I'd like to invite Toastmaster Bidu. I'd like to know as to whether Shubhadeep will be joining us or not.
Okay, I did not realize he was not in the meeting. So you can.
So then we'll probably push you over to the third speech and then probably come to the second speech. I hope that sounds good. I think speaker number 3. Do we have speaker number 3 here? Yes, speaker number 3, DTM Millen. To evaluate your speech, I'd like to invite Toastmaster Bidu to present the project guidelines. Oh yes, Meena is raising her hand. Meena, do you have something to tell?
Yeah, just one note to the GE. Since Toastmaster Millen is also participating in the contest tomorrow, I'll be dropping out during his speech time and during the evaluation time. The rest of the thing I'll be available, and Bidu would be giving the time for me, whatever is being taken by the speaker and the evaluator.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Meena. I hope General Evaluator DTM Askander, you were able to make a note of that. Now I'd like to hand it over to Toastmaster Bidu to present the project guidelines for DTM Millen.
No, is it that a speaker number 2 wants to give her speech? Anyone others can evaluate if it's okay.
Sure, sir. We are just waiting
for her to miss out. That's the thing.
In case of Shubhadeep does join in, then I think speaker number 2 would have.
If the evaluator number 2 is not there, if anyone on the fly can take that evaluation, if Shoda or someone can take, if that is okay, because I don't want.
Yeah, anyone else can take up the evaluation. There are so many people around.
I don't want her to drop off or something because she has.
Can I request Sakya? No, Sakya is not a Toastmaster. I'm not sure. Anyone who would volunteer to evaluate him?
Toastmaster, you have to volunteer as a
Who do we have to evaluate?
You have to evaluate Joseph, sir.
Joseph, sir.
Sir. Okay, Saurav, DTM Saurav.
I'm also a speaker. Will that be okay?
It's okay, no problem. Go ahead.
Okay, I need the project details. I don't have the project details. Or Bidu, if you share the project details, you can read out the project guidelines. I'll do the evaluation.
Yeah, let the speaker read out the project guidelines, objectives, okay?
All right.
Milind sir, please read out your objectives. That's enough. And DTM Saurav will evaluate you, okay?
No, mine is different. Mine is Bidu is evaluating it. Okay, because I had shared with him. So that Joseph sir's evaluator can be changed. That's what I'm telling.
No, fine. Fantastic. Now, speaker number 2, Joseph will present his speech, and this to be evaluated by DTM Saurav.
Yeah. Please read out your speech guidelines.
Joseph sir, please read your speech guidelines.
I don't have it with me because.
What is the speech name? What is the project name? Tell me that.
The pervasive speaking project presentation mastery pathway level 3 project 1, and my title is yoga for healthy living.
Persuasive speaking.
Yes.
Okay, fine. I'll get it. Give me one.
It will not take much time. Okay.
Sort of, it's in what?
So at least the timer is free now, right?
Yes, time.
So our second speaker is presenting his project persuasive speaking. I'm not too sure about the path. Oh yeah, he mentioned presentation mastery. So presentation mastery level 3 project 1 persuasive speaking. The purpose of this project is for the member to understand the types of persuasive speeches and deliver a persuasive speech at a club meeting. During the completion of this project, the member has spent time learning about persuasive speaking. About this speech, the member will deliver a well-organized persuasive speech on any topic. The member may choose to appeal to emotions, ethics, or logic in his or her speech. The speech may be humorous, informational, or any style the member chooses. This speech should not be a report on the content of the persuasive speaking project. Some of the parameters specifically that I would be looking at are clarity, vocal variety, eye contact, gestures, audience awareness, comfort level, interest on this particular subject that the speaker is able to create with the audience, and most importantly, whether he is able to persuade, that is, deliver a speech that is clearly intended to persuade the audience. Thank you. Timer, please note that speech timing is 5 to 7 minutes. So over to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you very much, Aditi and Saurabh. To introduce you to our speaker number 2, he is now the most cliche sentence that most people use at the club to describe him is that he is the youngest person at the club. Now, without a shadow of a doubt, that is true. And youngness stems from this level of energy and enthusiasm that he possesses from within. And that's something I've had the privilege of experiencing for the last 1.5 years that I've been at the club. He is, without a shadow of a doubt, the most dedicated Toastmaster I've ever seen in my entire life. He is Toastmaster Joseph, and his speech title goes Yoga for Healthy Living. Yoga for Healthy Living, Toastmaster Joseph. Over to you.
How many of you is practicing yoga except for Milanji? How many of you are practicing yoga? I think no one. We do. Yes. Gunjan? No.
Not yoga, but Zumba.
Okay. Anyway, yoga is the importance of everyone's life. Good evening, Toastmasters, distinguished Toastmasters, and my dear honorable guest. Today, I would be advocating to practice yoga for each and every one of you for a healthy life. Yoga, the 4-letter word, image of this 4-letter word might be, for someone, it is a health science. For some other, it is a way of life. But an avid yogi, however, calls yoga soulful journey of liberation. There can be many things that people of yoga, but the ultimate goal of yoga remains the fitness, the same complete fitness of the mind, body, and soul, which is the principle of healthy living, from where all the objectives of yoga are derived. Since generation, yoga as in a Vedic period, yoga and its various practices helped the great human generation to come. It is not yesterday, it is thousands of years ago. Today, we have what is known as the bullet train speed with which we are moving. We need to stop at somewhere where for the personal, professional or personal responsibilities, we are so stressed. Yoga comes as a much needed resources. One of the wellness program for the yoga school of thought describes that health as a body competent mind that is capable enough to take a decision of the life in an excellent manner without being exhausted by yourself. And yoga also sutra has got 4 pillars of life. One is what is known as the rupa, that is haleness. Second is the bala, the strength. And the third is the what you call lavanya, which is a dazzling body. And the last is the endurance. Meaning thereby, yoga fitness denotes harmony between the functions of all the parts of the body and also with respect to the environment as well as the emotions. So some of the art of yoga that you have to practice is the breathing. You know, breathing is what the life runs on. The yogic philosophy recognizes breathing is one of the force, a source of enormous power with which continuous inhalation and exhalation, the body gets pure oxygen, which is essential for the continuance of healthy life. Also, pranayama gives a practice of removal of impurities from the blood when it is warm. And furthermore, the breathing yoga enhances the decision-making power in the brain, where the memory box is supplied with fresh air so that it can have a full potential use all over the day. The third one is the meditation. Meditation, because you have so much of stress and strain you have built up in such a way that your mind needs a little bit of help. Meditation helps us to refresh the mind, therefore it needs a rest. And it removes any mental agonies also. It not only reducing the stress, it promotes the inner quietness. During the practice of meditation, the mind gets into the state of what you call seclusion, where one finds nothing but peace. The peace the teaches us to remain what you call the composed even during the moments of stiffness also. Some of the asanas primarily for the physical fitness are that it is not only for the mental as well as also for the environmental emotional strength. In other words, what we do is the asanas make us enough to fight for diseases, and the asanas also to make body strong enough to fight diseases and causing agent, and mind aware to detect the flaws of fitness, if any. Also, some of the asanas called balasana and savasana and viparita karani, and ideal to bring the calmness to our mind. We just keep check on headache and anxieties. Also, some of the yoga can cure some numerous diseases like backache, diabetes, asthma, and also migraine. When practiced regularly, yoga can give you a great use in helping the body increase vigor as well as the disorder-free. Now, to the core of healthy life begins with the early morning waking up and going for a practice of yoga. This would give you, even in the ancient Vedic text, it is written that you must have 3 meals a day with a gap of 5 to 6 hours without skipping the meal. And at the same time, you have to have what is known as the vegetarian food. This will help you in a wholesome meal, and also you have to take care of your sleep. You have to take care of your sleep in such a way that you go early to bed. And at the same time, the way of life has to be in consonance with the yoga practice so that you will not miss. And with the words of Vivekananda, health is wealth, peace of mind is happiness. Yoga shows the way. If we have to prosper in our life, you must embrace yoga and follow the practice of life. What I suggest to you also, that in order to live a healthy life in this period of time where we don't have even enough time to talk to our own kids, and today we are running after so many things, practice yoga to relieve your stress. And that is my message to all of you. Over to you.
Round of applause to Toastmaster Joseph on explaining the effectiveness of yoga. Trust me, a lot of people at home have been talking about yoga quite a lot. They've been rambling on and on about the benefits of it. My mom talks about it. My dad talks about it, but never does it. There are a lot of people that I know that talk about it, but never do anything about it. And I'm one among them. So a round of applause to Toastmaster Joseph. There was an incredible speech. Now moving to the final speaker for today's meeting. The final speaker for today's meeting is DTM Villain. But before I go ahead, I would like to call on Toastmaster Bidu to explain the project objectives of DTM Villain's speech. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Toastmasters of the day. So speaker number 3, Toastmaster Milind, is going to tell us a horror story, which is adapted from Oscar Wilde's story, The Canterville Ghost. Now, for everyone's benefit, I like to tell that he is participating on a speech contest tomorrow, and he has by himself given me certain criteria where I would evaluate him. The criteria are: did the story appear to be a horror story? Did it captivate the audience attention? Was it entertaining? The areas of improvement and the areas where the speaker can challenge himself. The timer, Meena, is also participating in the event, and hence I request the timer to let out of the meeting so that I can time Toastmaster Milind. The timing of the speech is 5 to 7 minutes. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Bidu. Now I would like to welcome our next speaker. And this person obviously joins the list of those highly dedicated Toastmasters at Speechweavers, someone that has been there since the day I even walked into this club in the first place. And when I say walked into this club, I mean I've only been a part of this club during the online era. I've never for once attended any of those offline meetings that we had prior to the online setting came into the scene. But regardless, DTM Milind was able to spring life into all of our meetings with his amazing persona, and to a point where I actually thought that he was just that right in front of me. Although he was that far away from me, it was amazing that it felt like he was that right in front of me. And that's exactly what DTM Milind is all about. And today he is presenting a speech titled The Ultimate Insult. The Ultimate Insult, DTM Milind. Over to you.
Mr. Otis, I am afraid it is very foolish of you to buy that Canterbury Castle. The place is haunted. Oh, big deal. I come from America, a modern country, where we have everything that money can buy. And if there were such things as a ghost in England, we would have had one in our American museum. My dazzling spooky Toastmaster of the day, my scintillating, fascinating guest, my sparkling, terrifying fellow Toastmasters, and my stunning, mysterious guest. A few weeks later, on a lovely October evening, Mr. Otis, his wife, and their twins came on a horse carriage to their new home, Canterbury Castle. When they entered the avenue of Canterbury Castle, the sky suddenly became dark and a spooky stillness was in the air. Suddenly, hordes of giant vampire bats flew past over the head, followed by herds of bloodthirsty jackals howling together ran past them. Cheerful, Otis family jumped out of the carriage, and suddenly a flock of 13 black dark cats appeared at the main entrance of the castle and did their customary cat stretch. Mr. Omni, the old housekeeper, led them into the living room of the castle, where the family sat down and began to look around. Mrs. Omni, I'm afraid something has been spilled over there, just by the side of the fireplace. Yes, Mr. Otis, blood has been spilled over there at that spot. How terrible! Mr. Ummi, I don't want any blood stain in my sitting room. It must be removed at once. It is the blood of Lady Canterbury, who was stabbed to death on that spot by her husband, Sir Simon Canterbury. In 1575, Sir Simon disappeared 7 years later. Her body, his body, had never been found. But his ghost still haunts this castle. The bloodstain is now a tourist attraction, and now it cannot be removed. That's all nonsense. Blood remover will remove it at once, in no time. Yes, you see, no blood stain. As soon as the blood stain had disappeared, a terrible flash of lightning lit the room, and a fearful peal of thunder made the whole building shudder. There was a horrible storm that night. The next morning, however, the family came down to the breakfast and found that terrible stain of blood once more on there, but of different color. Mr. Otis cleaned it for the second time. But the third morning, it appeared again with different color. The fourth morning, again it appeared in different color. This amused the Otis family. They started betting. What should be the color next day, darling? Now, this was too much for the ghost. He felt insulted, to say the least. The following night, at 1 o'clock, dang, 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 Mr. Otis got up from his bed, opened the door, and there it stood in front of him. The ghost, eyes burning like a lead charcoal, long gray hairs flowing over his shoulder. From his wrist and ankle hung those heavy chains. Chung, chung, chung. My dear sir, you must oil those chains. The chains are making it impossible for me to sleep. I therefore have bought you this bottle of lubricator, and I'll be happy to supply you more if you require. Here is it. Keep it up. Good night. He closed the door and went back to bed. Shocked, the Canterbury ghost stood quite motionless for a moment. Then he growled. Just at this moment, one of the twins appeared in the corridor and threw a pillow at the ghost. As the Canterbury ghost had never tried to escape to the wall, he froze. A horrible white ghost stood in front of him. As the Canterbury ghost had never seen another ghost, he was terrified. He quickly regained his composure and thought for a while. It makes sense to make friends with the new ghost, just in case. So he stretched his hand of friendship toward the white ghost. All of a sudden, a curtain was removed, and there stood the another twin mocking at the ghost. Now, this was an ultimate insult to the ghost. He hurried back to his room, but the twins blocked his way, pointing pillows and a balloon and a barrel to throw at him. The ghost quickly tried to turn back. He twisted his ankle, slipped in the corridor, and banged his head. The ghost was at his wit's end. He pulled his long hairs and he jumped out of the window. And since then, he was never to be seen again. That was the ultimate insult to the ghost.
Round of applause to DTM Milind on that amazing speech. I think it was so lively. And I think there was someone that dropped off the meeting because the both of you will be participating in a contest tomorrow. I would like to wish you all the best, and Speech Weavers as a whole would like to wish you the best before you go into your contest tomorrow. Now comes another interesting segment of today's meeting, which is the table topics round. And for the table topics round, of course, I'm not someone that can actually explain how good this is, especially when compared to the table topics master himself, because the table topics master for today is the 8th actor at 117. I think he is someone that I think knows quite a lot about Speech Weavers because he's been with us for the last few weeks. Of course, he's not a member of the club, but instead he is a mentor of the club. I'd like to welcome our table topics master for today, Toastmaster Nadian Selvam. Over to you. The stage is yours.
Thanks a lot, Toastmaster of the day. We had a frenetic first session, and I'm sure we were hoping for the same on the second session, where I'll be throwing a topic and then call someone in to speak on that topic. But rather, before that, I'm just going to tell you a joke and lighten up the moment. Two people were standing in front of an Egyptian mummy. The person one is saying, look, so many bandages, pakka accident case. The person two is saying, even the lorry number is written, see there, BC 1760. I'm daringly saying this ordinary joke, not because of the belief I have on me, but because of the belief I have in you. When you have a friend, the person enjoys the joke, not just to make you happy. How many of you here have read the book called The Little Prince? The whole book, in an interesting way, talks about a small kid. And the end learning there is, if you love someone, if you really like someone, whatever they do, you enjoy it. So your friends are not just putting up with your poor jokes. They really love it, not because they love the joke. They love the joke because they love you. They like you so much. I would like one of the guests to volunteer first to speak on a topic. Can I see a show of hands? Yeah, I see Naveen. Thanks, Naveen. Your topic is, in the cookie of life, friends are like chocolate chips. In the cookie of life, friends are like chocolate chips.
Hi everyone. Hello, Toastmaster Nadian. Thank you for this opportunity. Your topic is very great. Talking about friends, we all need friends. Not everyone got good friends to have. We definitely want someone to hear us, to listen us, to know our feelings. As you told, the chocolate chips. Friends are, of course, the chocolate chips. The biscuits are incomplete without the tea. Similarly, the tea is incomplete without the biscuits. Once we dip in the biscuit inside the tea, we get to know how deep the friendship is. The more the deeper the biscuit gets inside, it gets more and more purer, and it absorbs the tea or water, whatever the liquid we have in it. That's friendship. And definitely a frenetic friendship, a wild friendship is very important for all of us in life. This is how we can get to know each other, share our feelings, remove our dramatic, dismantle feelings we have within us. Uh, in like these days, we have been hearing a lot of suicidal cases. The reason behind this is there's no one to hear what we actually are feeling within us. If there's someone who can hear us, listen us, and share or give a solution what we can do in such situations, definitely the ratio will get down. I think so. And we all need friendship. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Over to you,
Thanks a
Toastmaster.
lot. Thanks a lot, Naveen. It's great to see that you spoke for a decent amount of time. And when I talk about time, the table topic speech is supposed to be 1 minute to 2 minutes with 30 seconds more grace period also being allowed. In 1 minute, you will see green, 1 minute 30 seconds yellow, 2 minutes red. It will remain on. Thank you. Any other volunteers?
We have Gem.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Jim, you are willing to speak, right?
Yeah. Okay.
When you had a tough time, where were your friends? When you had a tough time, where were your friends?
When I was young, I was a keen cyclist. I used to cycle up and over the hills in England. Every day after school, we would go, my friends and I, and we would cycle quite far. We would base it on time because it would take longer to get back than to go. And sometimes problems occur, minor ones. Somebody might get cramp, so we all stopped and helped him stretch back out. No problems there. One day, I hit something that blew the tire and dented the rim. I looked around. No one was there. None of my friends were there. They couldn't keep up. And eventually that was almost the turnaround point. So they never made it. They never realized that something had happened and I couldn't get back. When we cycle, we have these special shoes with cleats on the bottom. So imagine having to walk up and down hills, pushing a bike that has a dented wheel, wearing these silly shoes. So during that period, I really had time to think. Do we rely too much on outside help? Should we live our lives enjoying outside help, but always be ready to do it on your own, to be self-sufficient? These days, a lot of people ask me for help. Oh, I can't find this in the Toastmasters thing. Well, where is this in the governing documents? Well, really, people should figure it out themselves. That was one of the speeches from Michael Notaro. Figure it out themselves. Back to Table Topic Master.
Thank you so much, Jim. There is a famous quote which goes as below. A real friend is the one who walks in when rest of the world walks out. Who else is going to volunteer now? I have my next topic ready.
I think Toastmaster Gunjan might be interested. I think I'm not sure. It's just a call.
Sure.
I am about to raise my hand. I was just looking if anyone else is interested. Yeah, I would like to take.
Fellow Toastmasters or friends, what would you like to call them? Or call us, should I say?
Just repeat it once.
Do you want to call us fellow Toastmasters or friends?
So rather not fellow Toastmasters, not friend. I would like to call you as my family. Every Friday I used to meet you and it's really nice. Friends are definitely, frankly, I've never ever had a very best friend with me. There's no one to whom I can say she or he is my best friend. All are my friend. I am the person, like you can say I'm very transparent person. I am the one with same. I'm same with everyone. So I hardly hidden anything in my heart. So definitely friends are very important. I know with whom you can share. For me, I've never got any such friend with whom I can share my feelings or you can say I can share my the things which I don't want to share with anyone. So for that, I just stand in front of my mirror and I speak, I burst, I just speak whatever I want to. You are my family members. I'll definitely like to say that. And it's really nice. I just wait for Friday so that I can meet you all, have that chit chat, have that every time we have new guests over here. That also is really nice to meeting with them. So thank you. Back to you, Toastmaster.
Thanks a lot, Jagunjan. It's a very nice take and we are all touched. Who is going to volunteer next?
I think Toastmaster Subranjali raised her hand.
Oh, is it?
Okay, I was actually clapping, but okay, I can go for the topic.
Amazing, amazing. There is nothing better than a friend unless, now you can go on. There is nothing better than a friend unless.
Sleep. Who does not love sleep? Can anybody raise hand who hates sleeping? Okay, SF Toastmaster Adarsh, he might be a night owl, or maybe he might be an owl in real sense. We all love sleeping, right? So except a friend, there is nothing better than a friend, but something that is better than a friend is your sleep. If you can have a deep sleep, then you can enjoy friendships. If you have not slept properly, then even going out with a friend can be a troublesome task. Don't you all agree with me with that? Just suppose if you are having a deep sleep and a friend calls you up suddenly and asks you, let's hang out and go somewhere outside our own city, won't you feel like scolding your friend that why did you trouble me when I was sleeping? Couldn't you inform me beforehand so that I could plan my sleep accordingly and would have went for an adventurous trip then later on with you by enjoying it to the fullest? Thus, a friend is something that is necessary to have, no doubt. And there's nothing better than having a friend. But sleep is equally important, or you can say it's more important. Thus, for me, sleep is something that I will always cherish. And if someone would like to trouble me while I'm sleeping for unnecessary reasons, then that person is not my friend. For sleep is my best friend. That's all from my end. Over to you, table topic master.
Wow, that's an interesting take. Can we all applaud for this and for all the folks who spoke so far? What I was thinking was, better than a friend is a friend with a chocolate. Thanks a lot. I mean, many nice take and awesome speeches today. And everyone spoke with confidence, and even the guests were like hitting it out of the park. Thank you so much. And back to Toastmaster of the day.
Round of applause to our table topics master, Toastmaster Nadian. That was an incredible session. Thank you very much for basing your table topics on my theme. That is, everyone needs a friend. Now, before I go any further, I realize there's a lack of time. So I'm going to quickly go ahead and call on the general evaluator to start the evaluation session.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Adarsh, and good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. So we had 2 prepared speeches today. So 3 prepared speeches, excuse me, and we shall have the evaluation of those speeches from the respective evaluators. The first speech was delivered by DTM Saurav and evaluated by DTM Milind. Can I have the evaluation, please?
Thank you, General Evaluator DTM Askandar sir. My target speaker, distinguished Toastmaster Shaurav Datta. What a topic for you as a division director to select. Why do you continue with Toastmasters? And the entire thing with your personal story, a real life anecdote. It was so impelling and compelling to hear it. And your keys to that, key takeaways, the positive coaching which you shared was something which every Toastmaster office bearer should know to ensure that we retain the Toastmasters and also add new guests and convert them into Toastmasters. So kudos to you for that. And that was exactly what your project was. So you went to your project level 4 with aplomb. And what I liked, because it was a personal story, it was a credibility which you added to that with the facts and figures. And many of us who have been attending your club meetings, we know what it is. And where you explain the terms which you use, don't consider office or the bearers or the office of a Toastmasters or attending the Toastmasters meeting as a baggage, but as to learn, earn that's very important, which you highlighted, and grow. So that is a very incentive for which many of us continue with the Toastmasters. Toastmasters is our net practice, and that's exactly what you give. Now, areas where you can work on. Now, if it's okay with you, can you stand from the where you were giving your speech, just for my understanding? Because what I noticed, you are standing a bit closer to the mic. So your hand movements were not, so every time your hands were like this was. Only sometimes when you were raising your hand, it was coming. So otherwise, you were doing a lot of actions. And knowing you, you have very effective hand gestures. But many a times, almost of the 90%, it was like somewhere else. But if you could have either raised your hands consciously or would have stepped back a bit, just for that one point. And number 2, you had fantastic key takeaways for each one of us. in the conclusion, if you added that to sum up 1, 2, 3, 4, and maybe I ask them, just because I want every Toastmaster, every part of the audience to know what exactly coaching. That would have been your hit the coffin. That would have been the great thing. Otherwise, fantastic, distinguished Toastmaster, and I would like to learn, grow, and learn, earn, and grow with your topics and your speeches. Over to the general evaluator, distinguished Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, DTM Milan. I concur with the evaluator on all the points that he has highlighted, like hand gestures, body language, and the position of the camera. The position of the camera, you need not be very close to the camera so that we see at least your torso. And I would expect all these speakers, especially prepared speakers, to please stand up so that you can also reinforce your speech and your points with a little bit of body language and a little bit of movement on this stage. And number 3, this is for all of you. Please don't use 2 words in your speeches. Sorry and thank you. It is we who are supposed to thank you for highlighting us on such an important topic. So the speaker need not thank the audience. Okay. Thank you so much. And moving on to the second speaker, Toastmaster Joseph, and he was evaluated by DTM Saurabh. Can I have the evaluation?
Toastmaster Joseph, one thing I think each of us here will agree is that we learned a lot about yoga from you today. The details of yoga, why, what, where, how. I think you covered all the nitty-gritties of it. I think many of the yoga gurus you can put to shame with the kind of information that you shared with us. I also like the way you started off this session with interaction with the audience. You had a question, how many of you are into yoga? And then you also had, and one of the good things about the way you asked a question, and I've seen this with you in previous speeches also, typically we ask a question and we immediately move on, right? We don't wait for the answer to come in, but you do that. You give that audience a chance to give an answer, which means that you're respecting the fact that you're asking them a question and expecting an answer. I think that's something that we really need to learn from you. Now, a couple of things that I would want you to be a little mindful of for this particular project. So, as I said, this was a great informational speech. But was this project about an informational speech? I think the purpose of the project was very clear. It had to be a persuasive speech. A persuasive speech has to be inspirational or motivational. So it cannot be only information. You cannot overload with information. Information is required for adding credibility, which you did. I am saying, hence you believe me? No. You said, I know what I am talking about, hence you believe me. But it cannot end there. You need to inspire us to do a call to action. A persuasive speech should be such that after you finish your speech, I should be running to buy a yoga mat. Is that something what happened today? I would say not. In my personal opinion, I felt that call to action or that sense of urgency I did not feel after listening to your speech. I'm intrigued to learn more about yoga. I'm not intrigued to do yoga. There's a difference between the two. Now, coming to persuasive speech. Is my audio clear? Is my video clear? Am I stuck?
Your audio is clear. You can continue.
Yeah. So now, how do we do a persuasive speech? I'll tell you one tactic of doing it, which is appeal to the cognitive biases. Right? All of us have got cognitive biases, like use the confirmation bias or use a FOMO or the sunk cost fallacy kind of bias. For example, if you don't do yoga, this happens. If you do yoga, this happens. In fact, with the start that you had, right? How many of you do yoga? And from there, you could have taken it to a confirmation bias. So, TTM Milind knows yoga. And you can see how fit he is. You can see how energetic he is. Always is high on energy and vibrancy. So that would have been more of using it as a confirmation bias and using that to persuade and motivate the audience. That is what I would say would have been a persuasive speech. So to sum it up, a great informational speech. There was good opportunity for us to inspire and motivate us. But I feel as far as the project objectives are concerned, I don't see them getting met in terms of persuading the audience. So that is my personal take on this particular speech. Thank you. Back to you, General Evaluator, Distinguished Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, DTM Soro. I concur with you on all the points that you have highlighted. Nevertheless, in Toastmaster parlance, we never ask a speaker to repeat a speech. This is not allowed. So he can advance to the next page. And coming to a few suggestions, Toastmaster Joseph, I would, whenever you are giving a speech, asking people for a call for action or something like that, like this persuasive speech, you should always try to trigger the fear factor. Give some examples of people who don't exercise, who don't take care of their diet, or who don't do yoga, how they end up in hospital and all those things, you know, some of those things. So after that, if you appeal people to cultivate the habit of doing yoga every day, the speech will be more effective and people will buy your argument, number one. Number two, the other suggestions I have is, I think you're too close to the camera. Please stay a bit away from it, number one. Number two, I would have expected you to stand up. Number three, since you're talking about yoga, it would have been better if you had shown us some asanas. Nevertheless, congratulations and all the best for your next speech. Now, the third speech was delivered by DTM Milind and evaluated by Toastmaster Pitu. Can I have the evaluation?
Thank you so much, General Evaluator. The target speaker, Toastmaster. Whenever we go to a movie or watch a movie at home and the genre is horror, there are elements that appeal to our senses. They are visuals, audio, characters, and the scenes. I would like to point out that you did a wonderful thing when you described the characters. Each character that you introduced had a distinct identity in them. You modified your vocal variety to give them a unique accent. Your body language was distinct to highlight all the different mannerisms of each character. Since you introduced more than 5 characters, namely Otis, Omni, the neighbor, and the 2 ghosts, the onus was always on you to develop them as distinct as possible. And I say that you succeeded in doing that. Now, coming to the setting, I think every horror story needs a setting which is spooky. And I understand it is very difficult to create a visual when you are standing and delivering a speech, but you still managed to give us a very good impression of all the setting where the events are happening. For example, during build-up, you mentioned lightning, thunder, and darkness to showcase where the characters were exactly located. And something that goes hand in hand in horror movies are cat, death, and murder. And you use all of them. The best one that I felt was the stabbing scene, because Alfred Hitchcock symbolizes horror by that soul stabbing scene. I don't know whether you wanted to do that, but it worked out really well. The other highlight was the props that you used and the noises that you made, of course, of cats, the tongue, the chain noise, the growling. You did everything. So at every point of your story, we were engaged with you. We were connected with what you were doing. With respect to the context, the story was very simple, but somewhere I felt the story might get lost because way too much attention is given to the characters, their mannerisms, the setting. But it can be a double-edged sword. For me as an evaluator, I was slightly shifting more towards the character rather than the core story. But for some other people, it might be the story which they were following all through. Apart from that, 2 improvement areas. One is the timing. This went to 8 minutes, which exceeded the upper limit of 7. So I recommend you to cut down the speech to have a buffer of at least 10 seconds, because I'm expecting in a context might get eliminated. And second one is costume. I don't know whether you are planning to buy or probably wear something else, but I recommend something of a darker colored costume, because that would actually accentuate the setting and the environment can become a slightly more spooky. There are other props available, like some like something in the background, but I would not suggest that at this point because it is tomorrow. But the dress can obviously be modified. With this, I give it back to our general evaluator.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Bidu. I concur with all the points that you have highlighted. DTM Milinda, is the contest online or offline?
It's a physical contest. It's a physical contest.
A physical contest, yeah. If it is online, then I would have suggested to have proper lighting. Now, there you cannot do anything, but as your evaluator rightly pointed out, please concentrate on your dress. Wear a black dress, a black coat, or overcoat, or whatever, and a felt cap. You should yourself look like a ghost if you are trying to tell a scary story, and see that the lighting is off. Only limited lighting is there when you present your speech, and carry a candle in your hand. Number one. Number two, move off the stage for a while to create suspense, and please sit down and stand up during giving your speeches. A bit of body movement is required to make your story look very scary. Okay. That apart, all the best for your contest tomorrow. With that, we have completed the evaluation of all the 3 speeches. Now, can I have the timers report, please?
Yes, Toastmaster Mirza. We have the prepared speeches by Speaker 1, DTM Sauradatta, took 7 minutes, 26 seconds. Speaker 2, DTM Joseph, took 7 minutes, 12 seconds. DTM Millen took 8 minutes. And Evaluator 1, DTM Millen, took 3 minutes, 10 seconds for evaluation. DTM Saurav took 3 minutes, 23 seconds. Evaluator 3, TM Bidu, took 2 minutes, 50 seconds. And for table topics, we have our guest Japa, who took 1 minute, 29 seconds. And guest Jim, who took 2 minutes, 25 seconds. Toastmaster Gunjan took 1 minute, 32 seconds. Toastmaster Shubhranjali took 1 minute, 40 seconds. All the speeches, apart from Speaker 3, were well within the time. And this is the report of the frenetic speeches of today's meeting. Over to you, Toastmaster Mirza.
Thank you so much, Timer Meena. And I think except Speaker 3, DTM Milan, all the speakers and all the table topic speakers and all the evaluators are qualified, so you can vote for whoever you feel have done justice to their speech or the topic or whatever. Okay, with that, I'll take the reports of other meeting leaders later on, and okay, I'll take right now. Okay, can I have the report of the accountant, please? Accountant Gunjan.
Thank you, DTM General Evaluator. So during the whole meeting, there were very less fillers were used. Speaker 1, no fillers. Speaker 2, some pauses, some repetition of the words I felt. With the table topics, there were no such fillers, but for myself, I can say, yeah, I used some, so there I have to improve. So this is the report from my end. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I can understand some people have difficulty in pronouncing my name. Over period, you'll come to know what my name is. And can I have the grammarians report, please?
Sure. I will share my grammarian. I'll share my screen for the report. I hope. So, going to the good usages from speaker number 1, I thought the words like imposter, boxed up, unnerved, and dronacharya were very good usages. For speaker number 2, mental agony, seclusion, and consonance were the words that I picked out from his entire speech. Speaker number 3, Miran sir, I think the phrase insulted, to say the least, is quite notable, and also motionless. In the table topics, these are the table topic names, but I think they were quite good phrases. In the cookie of life, friends are like chocolate chips, and real friend is the one who walks in while the rest of the world walks out. For the word of the day, I would like to acknowledge Toastmasters of the day, Adarsh, our general evaluator, Askandar, table topic master Nadian Selvan, and timer Meena, who used the word of the day. You can just put in the chat box if anyone has mentioned it. I am not put their name. I'm happy to acknowledge it. In the improvement areas, there was the phrase "what you call" the used quite frequently, which can be avoided. And the reason why it was used because the speaker was not able to pinpoint the word that he wanted to use, and that can of course come through a little bit of practice before delivering the speech. And the word frenetic, I thought, could have been used by speaker 1 and speaker 3, both of them, because speaker 1 was highlighting how his protagonist of the story was having situations where not many things were happening. So I thought that word was fitting in there. And of course, Milind sir, when ghosts are around, people run, there are a lot of frenetic activities happening, so he can also use the word frenetic. But this, I give it back to our general evaluator.
Thank you so much. That was a very detailed report, and I'll get into the general evaluation of the meeting. The meeting started pinpoint 5 o'clock, appreciable, and it was kick-started by Sergeant at Arms Nitin. Nitin welcomed the gathering, and he explained all the 3 or 4 golden rules about telephone, about video, about mic, and he introduced the presiding officer, Toastmaster Biddu, and handed over to him. I would have appreciated if he had told a few words from on the theme of the day, because 3 role players in any meeting have the opportunity to speak on the theme of the day. It is the Sergeant at Arms, it is the presiding officer, and it is the Toastmaster of the day. That part you have done very good, and if it was a little more energetic, it would have been much better. And I would like to hear a round of applause for the Sergeant at Arms. Now coming to the presiding officer, Toastmaster Biddu. Toastmaster Biddu, what is appreciable is, this is something, people, the presidents or the presiding officer generally miss in any Toastmaster meeting, and that is formally opening the meeting, which you did, and you welcomed the gathering, and you took the guest introduction very well done, and you spoke about himself, okay, and also you introduced the TMOD in a very good manner, and I think you forgot to introduce the TMOD. I would have appreciated if you would have formally introduced him instead of directly calling him, number 1. Number 2, camera, if you're a little back from camera, it would have been much better. And eye contact, most of the time you're not looking into the camera, you're looking somewhere else. Maybe you're looking at your own video. So we have to be very conscious. We should be looking in the camera. We should not try to look at our own video, especially when you're on online meetings. Otherwise, everything very well done. And I would discourage people to use the word ado without much ado. Ado means useless talk. So whatever we are doing in Toastmaster is not useless talk. So it's better all of you avoid using such words. Okay. With that, you have done a fantastic job. I would like to hear a round of applause for the presiding officer. Please unmute and applaud so that I can hear it. Okay. And coming to the Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Adarsh. What role you played today is what we call in our Toastmaster terms as the textbook type of role play. You followed every rule in the book. Okay. First of all, you introduced the joke master in a beautiful way. You also introduced the general evaluator, the table topics master, and all the speakers in a very professional way and in detail. And also, you did not forget to call any of the evaluators. And also, your remarks in between have been fantastic. Very well done. And also, you spoke on the theme of the day. Then you did a small exercise by calling 2 Toastmasters, Toastmaster Meena and Toastmaster Gunjan, and to kickstart a friendship between them. That was also very well done, confiding in each other. Everything very well done. And you also introduced the table topics master also in a professional way. I would only 2 small suggestions I have. It's not about your role, but generally speaking, whenever you're delivering a speech or there are a few things that we have to always bear in mind, even when you're delivering a speech or doing a role play. First of all, your camera, again, you're very close to the camera. Okay. Where your nose was looking like a mountain, so better keep a little away from the camera. Okay. Number one. Number two, whenever you're delivering something, I think a bit of humor, a bit of twists and turns are always necessary to keep the audience hooked up to whatever you're saying. Otherwise, I could not find any fault in your role play. I mean, any slip in your role play. Very well done. I would like to hear a round of applause. Please unmute yourself, and I would like to hear a round of applause for the Toastmasters today. Okay. Now coming to table topics master, Nadia and Selvan. Nadia and Selvan, you started with a joke, and you first called the first speaker. Then I think you forgot that you did not explain the timings criteria and the objectives of Toastmaster speaking, table topics master, and then you explained the timing criteria later on. Actually, the ideal role would be to first explain what are the advantages of impromptu speaking, how table topics is going to help you in your life and everywhere else. Then the timing criteria, and when you're explaining the timing criteria, ask the timer to display the cards, and then start your table topic session. Okay, and coming to your table topic session, I think most of the topics that you gave were beautifully addressed by the respondents. That clearly means that the topics were open-ended. Open-ended topics means they're not suggestive, so that people have a big scope to address that. Okay, and topics were really interesting and very good. I have another suggestion for you apart from this, apart from what suggestions I have given you earlier. Two suggestions. Number one, as a table topics master, before getting into your shoes, before starting your role, it's better that you make a list of the respondents, list of the Toastmasters or guests you're going to call. Please don't come on the stage and call for volunteers and keep waiting for them. You have the liberty to call anybody, and everybody has to respond to whatever topic you have given them. So next time, please do some prior preparation before getting into the role, number one. Number two, it's not necessary that all the topics should be on the theme of the day. You can give 50% of the topics on the theme of the day, 50% general topics, so that there is variety. Okay, when you give on the theme of the day, it is quite possible that people have prepared themselves for that. Okay, so with that, I think nothing is left. I have completed my role. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to be a general evaluator. I enjoyed being a general evaluator, and hand over control of the lectern back to the Toastmaster of the day. Over to you.
A round of applause for General Evaluator TTM Askander Mirza. That was a very comprehensive evaluation. I don't think I could have expected anything more from you. With that said, I realize that we are actually going overboard. I think the time is already 6:44, and I think Bidu has put up the voting link in the chat for you to go ahead and click on and vote for your favorite role takers and speakers right away. But before we close things off, I really don't want to end this on a sour note, because I've been skipping through a lot of my Toastmaster of the Day notes because of a lack of time. But I don't wish to end this on a sour note, so I'm going to go ahead and invite another couple of people in today's meeting. That's right, I'm going to give another couple of people in this meeting the opportunity of befriending each other by taking the opportunity of venting out their frustrations on life. I have Toastmaster Shubhranjali in the audience. Shubhranjali, are you there right now? I think I was talking to you over the chat. Are you there right now?
Yes, I'm there.
Yes, Toastmaster Shubhranjali, I think you're actually in the mood to vent out. I'd like to know if there's anybody else in this audience that wishes to make a friend before they leave today. Is there anybody else? I think Saurav just turned on his video, so I'm not sure. Okay, Saurav says no. Then Naveen is sort of playing with his phone. I'm not really sure if he wants to go ahead. I see Jim. Looking at the, yes, I think Jim says no. All right, Jim says no. In that case, I think I have to call on Naveen. Naveen, I think you're probably in the mood to vent out your frustrations on life. You know what, Naveen, you have a minute, and Shubhranjali, you have a minute as well. But I think the both of you can take turns. Let's start off with Shubhranjali. Shubhranjali, what frustrates you about life? I think you have Naveen there. You can talk to him. There's a one-to-one session that you both have. Of course, there's an audience, but I would suggest you to ignore us during this time. Over to you. And that's right. I think the stage is yours.
Okay, life, it's a roller coaster, no doubt. But there are some moments they frustrate you a lot. And something that frustrates me is when people can't stay true to their words. When they say something and they do something else. Integrity matters to me a lot. And even here in Toastmaster, few Toastmasters are here who don't stick to that principle of integrity. So I would like to vent out today that I have met few Toastmasters who have, betrayed me, who have tried to take advantage of my, you can say, reliable nature, and who have said something and done something else. So that's what I would like to vent out to Toastmaster Naveen, that something that frustrates me about life in general, not in Toastmasters only, is when people, they build trust with you and later they play with your heart. It's not easy to build trust with someone and let other person play with you then later on. So that's all I would like to vent about life in general.
Naveen, over to you.
I definitely agree on Toastmaster Subranjali, whatever she just said about life, the frustrating thing we have in life. Talking about me, like in Nepal, I'm in Nepal basically. I'm from Nepal. We have the festive seasons and it goes like for a long time. I guess the places are open in India right now, but we have our vacations till Chhat Puja, which is more like 2 to 3 days. And I have nothing to do right now. People go and play cards and all XYZ. And I was getting completely bored doing nothing today. And all of a sudden, I got message in my Toastmaster official group that we have this meeting going on right now. And I got so excited to join this. So I could spend 1.5 hours with all of us, learn something as Toastmaster sort of just said, we can learn, earn, and grow from this. This 1.5 hour, I could learn. I could definitely earn as well. I just earned few people from here, like the 13 or 14 participants we have, and then I can grow now. I just grew with the things we all just shared here, and this is what like we all need in life. The Toastmaster.
Thank you very much, Naveen. Thank you very much, Toastmaster Shubhranjali. I think it's amazing that all of you, you know what, Naveen, I think you probably have more to speak, I guess. I'm not sure, but obviously you can get in touch with Shubhranjali anytime or get in touch with any of us because you've made, let me see, you made 11 new friends at today's meeting. Thank you very much. And the same to you, Toastmaster Shubhranjali. And that is exactly what I wish to talk about today. Everybody needs friends. And that's exactly what we are here for at Speech Weavers this evening. On that note, I'd like to close things off and hand it back to our presiding officer, Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, Toastmasters of the day, Toastmaster Adarsh. I would like to reiterate to keep giving the votes because I've already received 9 votes. If anybody is putting their votes, be quick because I will be announcing. In the meantime, I request everyone to keep the videos on because I would like to take a picture of all of you who have graced us in this meeting. Nadia and Selvan, if you want to put your video on. Subranjali, you can come on screen. All right, thank you. 3, 2, 1, smile. Yes. Thank you. And again, I would like to thank everybody who has joined us from outside. Our general evaluator, DTM Askandar sir actually graced our meeting and gave us a lot of points how to elevate our meeting. So thank you so much, Askandar sir. We'll try to keep all the points in mind. Toastmasters of the day, others, a very, very relevant topic. I think in times of these, we do require friends. But sometimes I thought the kind of situations that you are giving to those people who you are inviting, someone had to be more than a friend, more than a therapist. But as they say, a good friend doesn't make you require a therapist. I think that quote stays in line. We did not hear from Jim. Of course, he was one of the table topic speaker, but Jim, if you'd like to come on stage and probably introduce you, I can see the background that you are a Toastmaster, but I would like to know from where are you joining, your time zone, and how did you like the meeting?
It's 10 minutes to midnight here in Australia. So got a bit of a cold. Yeah, so I haven't been to many meetings recently because I've been ill. I've had surgery, all sorts of things. So this is the second meeting I've been back to. So yeah, it's great. I see a lot of familiar faces. Joseph and Milin, I know, Sura, Adarsh. I've seen you all before. Maybe you don't recognize me with my mask on. So that's why I'm in black and white. I thought I'd look better in black and white because if I show you in color, I'm still white. So it's pretty scary, more scary than Milin perhaps. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Jim. I think you are looking stunning. No problem. And thank you for joining from a different time zone. We appreciate your efforts and hopefully you like this meeting. Subranjali, I think this is the first time you're attending. If I'm not recollecting correctly, or probably others is saying this is not her first time, but I would like to know from which club do you belong and how did you like this meeting?
So currently, actually, I'm not a paid member of any club, but I have been a past member of Lucknow Toastmasters Club that belongs in Uttar Pradesh and area that falls under District 124. And I have visited this meeting at least, I think it is my 4th or 5th time. I couldn't recall the time, but yes, I am joining after a long time. And though I logged in late, but whatever I heard, like evaluators or prepared speeches, everything was amazing. I missed the TMOD theme, so I can't comment on that much. But overall, whatever I listened to, I enjoyed the session, and especially the general evaluation. I've heard first time TTM Askandar, and so his evaluation was like top-notch level. That's all from my end. Just one recommendation: evaluation of table topic speakers can also be done. That would add a cherry to the top. That's all from my end. Over to you, presiding officer.
Thank you so much for this feedback. We'll try to insert that role as well. So now I'll go back to the voting and I have already got 11 responses. I'm closing down the responses and I'll start announcing the winners now. So I'll start with the supporting role taker. The supporting role taker award is actually shared between two people. It is between me and Meena. So congratulations, Toastmaster Meena. You took up the role at a very, very last moment, I think around 4 o'clock, but I think you have done a commendable job as a timer. Congratulations. Coming back to the table topic speaker, Jim, you have joined in from a very different place, different time zone, and you actually have won this table topic round. So congratulations, Jim, for winning the table topic as a table topic speaker. Coming to the best role taker, it was a tough competition between the Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Adarsh, and a very, very renowned general evaluator, DTM Askandar. But the award goes to the general evaluator, DTM Askandar. Congratulations, sir. Now, the best evaluator award goes to Toastmaster Saurav. Saurav, I think your evaluation was pinpoint. Congratulations on winning the best evaluator for today. Now, the final award for the best speaker, I would say all the speakers for today are veteran Toastmasters, and I like competition among them. Publicly, as per the voting, the winner is again Toastmaster Saurav. So Toastmaster Saurav, you have actually won 2 hours today. Congratulations. As I said, the evaluation was pinpoint. I think your speech was also very, very inspiring to everybody. With this, I come to a close to the voting round. Thank you so much for putting in your votes. I think it is very important to acknowledge all the role takers and the speakers who have put in all the efforts in the preceding days to come prepared to this meeting. With this, I think we are hitting 7, which is really, really late. I thank you again for joining on a Friday. I wish you a good evening and looking forward to meeting you, all of you, the next time around. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good evening with your family and friends. God bless you.